What's up everybody? My name is John and I am back to give you your week 4 of our first mesocycle focused on hypertrophy. What we're going to be doing today is a little bit different because this is week 4 and this is the last week of this mesocycle focused on hypertrophy. We're doing what's called a deload week. What's different about a deload week is that rather than progressing the exercise just a little bit, which is what you saw from week 1 to week 2 and week 2 to week 3, this week we're actually taking a step back. The workout is the exact same as the workout that you did week 1 with one slight modification that I'll go over in a second. So the reason for a deload week is it's going to give our body some much needed rest, and it's also a really exciting time for you to see how much stronger you've gotten and do kind of a self-evaluation of how you're progressing so far with your program. So going back to week 1, you probably can still remember how difficult that final set was. Well, this week, what you're going to be doing is you're going to do the exact reps, exact rest, exact exercises that you did week 1, but the last set, you're going to do as many reps as you can. What you probably notice is that week 1, maybe you didn't even get your 10 reps by that final set. Maybe you were getting 8 or 9 by that 5th and 6th set. And what you should notice this time is that you're able to squeeze out a few more. And you may find that you did 9 and now you're able to do 15, which is awesome and super exciting. So again, you're repeating the workout, everything stays the same. If you want to see the form techniques or the exercises, you can refer back to week 1. What we're going to spend the bulk of this video talking about is why we select those exercises to begin with, so that you can see what a trainer goes through when deciding on exercise selection, which is a very important part of building a program. So with that, let's get into it. So our first exercise, if you remember, that was the barbell bench press. Now let's remember 2 things here. We're training someone who's in the Army and we're training somebody who's well trained, right? So we know for someone who's well trained, we can jump them maybe right into hypertrophy training. But when we do that, we want to be conscious that we're having them do something that they are familiar with. So that's going to be a trend through all these exercises. We're not teaching new movements in a hypertrophy phase because neurological adaptations are not our primary focus here, right? Muscle adaptations are, right? So bench press is an exercise that's familiar to me, and it mimics the range of motion that a push-up requires, which is something that I have to train for my Army Combat Fitness test. So that's why I chose the barbell bench press. Going on to the second exercise, the cable pull down, a lot of similar reasons. Cable pull down is a little bit more stable than a pull-up is, so I can probably push my volume a little bit more because it's a little bit more stable, and it mimics the pull-up, which is also an exercise that I need to be proficient in for my test. Barbell deadlift, also an exercise that I have to do for my Army Combat Fitness test, so kind of a no-brainer. Need to do it, so I'm going to train it. Moving on to Bulgarian split squat. Now this was something that took a little bit more thought on my end, and I chose the Bulgarian split squat over other maybe more traditional squat patterns like a barbell squat or a front squat, which might be a little bit more obvious for hypertrophy training. And the reason I did that is because running is something that I am actively trying to get much better at. Even in a hypertrophy phase, I know I need to be good at running and at least maintain where I'm at. And the reason I chose a unilateral pattern where I'm in a staggered stance doing the Bulgarian split squat is because I know that training my body in that position is going to have a better transfer over into running, being in that split stance, which is what you do when you run, right? So that's why I chose it. Moving on to the walking push-up. This was something that just knowing your population is really important when you're making decisions like this. I'm training somebody who's in the Army, so I know that that person's load tolerance, their volume tolerance to pressing exercise is probably much higher than the average person, because in the Army, you do tons of push-ups, right? So if I want to see that person progress, I probably need to give them an above average amount of volume for that specific exercise, which is why I chose to have bench press in the workout, and also with my groundwork, doing another pressing exercise, because I felt that I needed that to really see progress with that movement. Going on to the last exercise, that overhead carry, right? Overhead farmer's carry. For my carry, it was important that I use something gait related, so something walking, because again, I'm training running, right? So that has some crossover there. Training a farmer's carry versus something stationary has a little bit more crossover to what I'm training for. So I wanted my hands overhead because I got small shoulders and I want to hypertrophy my shoulders, and so that went into that decision making. So I hope that was helpful. Now you can see what a professional trainer, kind of all the things that come into mind that we're thinking about when we create a workout program. I hope that's helpful to you, and we'll see you next week for the start of our next mesocycle.